Hello there and welcome to the Liverpool versus Burnley preview tomorrow at 12:30 at Anfield as well, with the fans being back and everything like that. Hopefully this can be a good result for Liverpool as well, and a good game in general. Hopefully with some options as well that we might not be expecting just yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through Twitter, like Jurgen Klopp's press conference highlights, if anything. We're going to go through a little article on liverpoolfc.com about players that are available or could be available to feature for both teams as well. And then we're going to go through the SofaScore predicted 11, and then we're going to go through two starting 11s that I think Liverpool could go with, depending on what happens in terms of team selection, of course, and obviously players that are available and how available that they are as well. Now, I hope that you guys are taking care of yourselves as well and doing as well as possible. This hopefully won't be the longest one because I've had my second vaccine today, and I'm not feeling great, I'll be honest with you. So I want to make sure that I get a good amount of rest, but I also want to make sure that I get to speak to you guys as well and converse, and let's get our thoughts all out there in the open together. So let's dive straight in. We're going to go and look at the Liverpool FC website here with some team news for both teams as well. So Klopp must decide between whether to include Thiago and Henderson in Liverpool's matchday squad against Burnley. My personal opinion straight away is if they are fit and they are ready to go, they can go in there, perform 70, 80 minutes, whatever it could be, I would have them in the starting 11. That's just my point of view, that's my observation. I think that having them in the starting 11 could be very, very key, especially when we go and look at some other information that we've got regarding squad selection and possibly people that are available as well in just a second or two as well. Apparently, they both played in a behind the closed doors friendly on Sunday last week and are potentially available to face Burnley as well. Klopp saying that they are much closer, they look fine, now we have to make the decisions. They looked really good in the game and looked good in training week, so it's up to me to make some decisions. Now, Fabinho, his father, has passed away earlier this week. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp saying, I would like to say it's a private situation. Fab is here and is doing what he is able to do, and that's it pretty much. We all feel for him, we all feel with him, and we give him and his family our condolences. We try to give him all the warmth, all the love we have in this moment, and that's it. The rest is private. Really unfortunate situation there for anybody. As I said before, when Alisson's father unfortunately tragically passed away as well. Touch wood for myself, I've not been through it, but I really do feel for anybody that loses either of their parents or guardians, whoever. Really do feel for them, and I don't know. I can't remember if Alisson played in the next game after his father passed or not. I really can't remember. I'm not sure whether Fabinho will. Obviously, if he's fit, firing, and 100%, I would have him in the team. But with the passing of a family member, it then comes down to, I was going to say mentality, and that's not even the right word. It's not mentality when it comes to something like that. It's just judging whether someone's in the right frame of mind to be able to take on something like playing a football game. And some people that might sound ridiculous, but maybe that aren't football fans or something like that. But you've got to have compassion for people that are going through a really tough time, and I certainly do with Fabinho. Andy Robertson missed victory at Carrow Road, and apparently he could be in line for playing against Chelsea, our next game, I think, after Burnley. So that's quite a quick turnaround for Andy Robertson. Probably means that we're going to get Tsimikas in the starting lineup as well, which I'm not opposed to. But Virgil Van Dijk played in a competitive game for the first time since last October following his long-term knee injury. Klopp saying that he's not impressed in a surprised way. It's like, oh my god, right, that's him. And that's exactly what I thought as well, especially in my match review, in that this is the Van Dijk that we know. This is the Van Dijk that we know, and he's going to get better. He's going to get, much more. To be fair, I can't criticise his performance against Norwich because he was very, very good. I think there's maybe a little bit more speed to come about him, but maybe not so much. I don't know. I thought he played really well. Whether there's more to come for Burnley, they've got Dale Stephens and Kevin Long unlikely to make the trip. But it's very tough going to these places. Last season they had some injuries, we maybe caught them at a slower period and earned the right to win the game. There's no guarantee of doing that again. Our last match was against the 3-0 against Norwich, and Burnley got beat in their opening game against Brighton. I think they scored early on through Tarkowski, and then Brighton got back into the game and won 2-1. So not really much else to say about that one, to be fair. If I can, I will jump over to SofaScore, and here are the predicted lineups from SofaScore as well. I'm not even. Yeah, I'm on the right screen. So yeah, these are the predicted lineups from SofaScore. Mine are a little bit different in some ways, but we'll go through them anyway. And if honestly, if this lineup comes out against Burnley, I'm not opposed to it whatsoever. As you can see, they're not including Fabinho. I don't know whether that's to do with the news of his father passing or not, or whether that's in any way related to that prediction. These have gone for Salah, Jota and Mane in the front line. Midfield looks exactly the same as Norwich, same as the back line, same as the goalkeeper. So that's pretty much standard there, and honestly, like I say, I'm not opposed to it either way. If it comes out like this, then fair play. But I do want to show you the lineups that I have gone with. Now there's two potential lineups. Both of mine are a little bit different in the back line, but especially different in the midfield as well. So, this is the lineup that I feel we could get if Henderson and Thiago are passed as fit as well. Naby Keita in the midfield as well, Henderson, Thiago. I think that would be a pretty strong midfield. The only way that midfield gets stronger in some way is if Fabinho is able to play. But if he isn't, we've got to accept it, and we've got to get behind the guy and support him in his time of need. Tsimikas, Van Dijk and Konate for me. I think that I would like to see Konate play and see what he can bring against a team like a Burnley. A lot of people will probably go with Matip because of his experience in the Premier League and playing against teams like Burnley, and I understand that as well. I'm not opposed to it. If Joe Gomez is fit as well, he's in contention. But for me, I would just like to see Konate get a try. Whether we will or not, I don't know. I would just like to see it. Trent at right back, Alisson in goal. This midfield would make me pretty happy as well. Jota, Firmino and Salah. Firmino, I just think that he comes on at the moment and he looks sharp. And I think that Jota just edges it ahead of Mane for me at this moment in time. Now the second lineup differs in midfield slightly, I think. Does it? Or have I uploaded the wrong picture? I have indeed uploaded the wrong picture. That's totally cool, because I think my midfield, instead of Thiago and Henderson, it ended up being Milner and Oxlade-Chamberlain, which was the exact same midfield that we had against Norwich, and I think also the same midfield that is on SofaScore, if I remember rightly. Let me just go back. Yes, James Milner, Naby Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain. So yeah, we could get that midfield. We could see Fabinho. I'm erring on the side of caution on that one, if I'm being honest with you. So let's just jump over to Twitter as well, and obviously Klopp, gives some other thoughts alongside the rest of the stuff about Fabinho. That Thiago and Henderson are much closer. Liverpool aren't out for revenge after last season's 1-0 loss to Burnley at Anfield during our really tough time. A lot of teams got on top of us, a lot of teams took advantage of it as well, and why wouldn't you? A team that is struggling, you've got to strike while the iron's hot, and a lot of teams certainly did. Klopp on the full Anfield and impact on new players. Everyone's looking forward to it. You can imagine when you sign for Liverpool, one of the first things you're waiting to do or waiting for is your first game at Anfield. It will be a very special moment for them. And I know people will say, what new signings? Well, you've got Konate, and I can't remember if Tsimikas ever played at Anfield, because he only played like 6 minutes last season in total. So that could be great as well. He might not have seen it. Why not? Absolutely fantastic. And same with Jota, perhaps? Maybe? I know he played in the last... Did he play in the last couple of games of the season? When we had, the last game of the season with the fans in? I honestly can't remember, but hey, regardless, it's going to be a really positive impact on the players. I fully guarantee it. This place is really special, and we're really happy to have it back. Henderson's contract situation, no news, still all good. Take it on the chin for that as now. I reckon they will get it sorted for sure. He apparently was full of praise for Ox and Keita, suggested that there could be changes versus Burnley. So we might see that Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby Keita in the midfield. We could see some other players in there that I've highlighted before, like Thiago, Henderson. Whether we get Fabinho or not, we're not sure right now. So it's really difficult to tell, like, obviously how things are going to turn out for teams like early in the season. Burnley are Burnley, and I hope that you know what I mean by that. Like, you know what you're getting with Burnley. You're going to get tough tackling players. You're going to get roughed up a little bit. You're going to have loads of possession, but you're going to have to try and break down a team that's really, really difficult to break down. The inclusion of someone like Thiago could be absolutely key. Really, really could be for unlocking those little movements in the forward line, for unlocking just getting into, like, I don't want to say half spaces because I think that's not right. I think Naby Keita is more of a, well, to be fair, they probably both are. To be fair, if you have Naby Keita and Thiago on the team, I think that could be really key. The ideal person to be with that in that trio in midfield is Fabinho. So no pressure at all. But, like, I think having Henderson, having Thiago, having Naby Keita could be quite a dynamic midfield as well. And I'm not saying anything against, like, Oxlade-Chamberlain or James Milner or anything like that. But if Henderson's fit, I would always have Henderson in the team, because just his natural leadership and his levels of commitment to the cause, it goes through the team and really helps us to re-solidify our team's spine, if that makes sense. Having obviously Alisson back and in brilliant form at the moment as well, like really good performance against Norwich. Everyone always goes to that double save that he made, and absolutely correct as well, if not a triple save of some sort, with the ball bouncing around the box and he is just in the way of it all over the place. Fantastic to see. But having Van Dijk back as well and looking commanding, giving us reassurance, like calming our levels when it comes to looking at the defence. You know what I mean? Like, when we look at the defence last year and you all of a sudden, whenever the opposition gets the ball, you're a little bit like, sharp intake of breath, and you're like, what's going to happen here? Are we going to get caught out? Are we going to get caught on the counter? We seem a little bit more assured in that at the moment with Van Dijk back. And then the other part of the spine, whether it's Joe Gomez or Matip or could be Konate at one point, we don't know just yet. Having these guys as options, fantastic. And then we go through the midfield. Fabinho is obviously massive. Henderson, massive. Thiago is massive. And a lot of other contributing players as well that I'm probably missing out, as well as having the likes of Firmino and Salah, Mane, Jota up front as well. There's a lot of options. It looks like we can almost start getting back to an almost 100% Liverpool, if you know what I mean. Like it's like a fighter getting ready for fights, you know, during fight camps and stuff like that. They never go into a fight 100%, but you want to be as close to it as possible, and that's what we're getting back to. That's what it feels like for me. It just feels like we're starting to get back to a place where we are ourselves, if that makes sense. You know, like ourselves of 2 seasons ago, like 2 seasons ago, and the season before that, and before that as well. We look like we're getting back to being ourselves, and hopefully we can impose that on our opposition on Saturday as well, because we're going to have to take it to Burnley hammer and tongue. Absolutely going to have to take it to Burnley and be defensively solid, because if they do get a chance, if they get a set piece, or if they get you on the break, 9 times out of 10 they'll put the chance away because it's against us. It's just the way it feels, you know. But I'm hopeful, and I do genuinely think that with the players that we have available, the 2 lineups that I've put out on the screen as well, I do genuinely think that we could go out there and get a good victory as well. And what I mean by a good victory is score a couple of goals and hopefully a clean sheet. I'm going to go for 2-0 Liverpool. Any more than that, I'm impressed. Any less than that, I'd be a little bit, okay, a bit flat. But if Liverpool come out of here with a win, because it always seems like forevermore now, since the emergence of obviously Man City and Pep Guardiola and Liverpool and Klopp, in terms of how many points you need to win a league, apart from last year, you've needed a lot. You've needed over 90 points. We have to keep going, keep our momentum going that we picked up away against Norwich, and start our home campaign on the right foot. And that's just what Liverpool need to do. It could be difficult. It's not going to be the easiest game of all time. But I genuinely think it is doable. I think that Liverpool can go out there, get a good victory, control the game, make those important penetrating passes as well. And fingers crossed, I genuinely think we can get a 2-0 win here. But it's never a said done deal. You just got to go out there and see what happens, and that is what we will do tomorrow anyway. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here as well. Thank you ever so much once again, and I'll catch you later.